here's my question. When you go home at night, how do you separate, like, now's our time to hang out and, you know, have a meal, and now's our time to, like, maybe talk about page 65 of the script?
Right. It kind of happens organically. I mean, some couples definitely shouldn't work together, and that's part of what makes the relationship functional, is that they have their kind of separateness within the unity.
Right.
But because we met on a movie and we've always, you know, been doing it together, it's just easier to do it with her than without her.
I wanted to ask you, so your character in this movie has this sort of damaged relationship with his father, and then he's his whole life trying to prove himself in some way in his father's eyes. When you were younger, were you ever like that? Were you rebellious? Did you, try to be the big fish in your town?
No, my family was so eccentric that if I was going to rebel against it, I would be a square.
That's hilarious. Is that true?
Yeah.
Talk to me about, I know how challenging it was to deal with the science, but talk to me about the physicality, because there's this awesome scene where you are running in what looks to be like a really heavy spacesuit.
It was heavy for me.
Yeah,
I'm not sure it was as heavy for the boys.
Frigid
but for
waters
me, it was heavy.
in Iceland. What was that like?
That was my first day, and it was hard. But
I heard it was so taxing on you that you actually gave up being a vegan. Is that true?
that did happen.
Really?
That did happen.
There's an interesting statement by Alejandro's father, right, who said, when you have success, just taste it and spit it out because it's really poisonous. So what is your take on that?
I had never heard that before.
His dad he's sharing these things with you, and he never told us after 5 months.
It seems like Alejandro's really sharing a lot of his soul in interviews.
All he did was yell at us.
Yeah.
Have you heard a lot of good jobs in your life, and do you agree or disagree with Terrence's philosophy there?
I totally agree with that philosophy there. Yeah, 100%. His methodology, maybe not, but the especially this generation, and I'm guilty of it with my own kids. We fall into this overpraising of modest accomplishments, and I think that is a recipe for mediocrity. And Fletcher's idea that you need to really drive someone to achieve greatness is something that I'm totally on board with. It's just the way he does it that might be debatable.
Right.
I want to ask you about space travel. Richard Branson is about to take off with his Virgin Galactic.
Yep.
Are you game? You want to do it?
I'm talking to somebody right now about that.
Really?
That exact thing.
You seem like a really dedicated father. We saw your kids with you at the American Cinematheque tribute dinner. What was it like to have them with you at that moment?
Well, there's a lot of events I want to take them to, but that was the apropos one too, because it was about my career. It was friends of mine, teammates of mine that I've worked with along the way, presenting these things, telling these stories about me.
You're a dad. You have 3 beautiful children. How do you think that being a father informed you as an actor to play this character?
Right. I've been asked, could you have played it before you were a father? I think so. Would I have had as much understanding of what it really means to care and shepherd the child into the world?
Yeah.
It's probably no. I wouldn't have.
Now, your character in this movie sees everything very black and white, wrong and right, yes and no. Are you that way at all?
I think everybody is to a point, but I think that you have to learn to accept the grays and the in-betweens, I think, And we're constantly learning those in our life, I think, the in-betweens.
What, Steve, was the physical transformation for you like? Because when I first saw you on screen, I knew you were coming, and then when I saw you, I was stunned.
Yeah.
You are unrecognizable.
Oh, thanks. He had a really specific look to him, and Bill Corso did the makeup and took a long time, great care to, we did a lot of camera tests, and there's that line, you don't want to go too far with it, but you want to go far enough that it's worthwhile doing in the first place. And I think physically, that lent itself to how awkward he was and socially inept he was.
Was it depressing for you?
It was, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
See the spoof Jimmy Fallon did.
For the Fresh Prince, that was fantastic.
What did you think?
It was so humorous. I didn't see it.
You have to watch it on YouTube.
He shot for shot redid the intro to the Fresh Prince.
Rockefeller Center, NYC.
It was very cool. No, I thought it was fantastic. I posted it. I did. I was with Jimmy a couple days ago. So it's he is genius. He really is. He's about to be one of the best to ever do that. Yeah.
Totally.